There it was. There I was thinking it was just me that had a problem, but it turns out it's the air conditioning that's sexist.
I know. So many women in our office have the exact same problem. You know, we just sit there absolutely freezing at our desks trying to type. You can probably tell I've got a cold right now, which I blame all on the AC. And so it's just so actually quite nice to see this research. It's just such a relief to know that there's actually proof that this is happening, that women, you know, do feel the cold more than men, and that the AC in offices is normally regulated more for a male's temperature than a woman's.
And it's an explanation for these constant battles you'll see in offices right across the country between the sexes for control of that office thermostat.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know, one of the biggest problems is that often in offices it is men who control temperatures. You know, that's just something I've found anecdotally. And because majority of the men in offices seem to be absolutely fine with the temperatures, you know, women kind of just sit there on the corner feeling absolutely frozen. And, you know, often, like, actually nothing's being done to help them. And, you know, it might sound like a bit of a silly, light-hearted issue, but actually it's really uncomfortable being freezing at your desk every day. Take it from me.
No, I know I experience the same, because what I've often found is you go in on a really hot summer's day, you're wearing summer clothes, you go into an office and it's absolutely freezing. I think even for some men it must be too cold. I don't understand why air conditioning is often so cold. So what you have to do is then take a jumper in with you and put that jumper on in order to be able to function.
Yeah. Honestly, I think so many women listening now are going to just be nodding their heads thinking, yes, that is exactly my reality. You know, we joke at work that we actually can't dress fashionably anymore for summer because you actually just can't go in sandals. You can't go in a summer dress because you're going to have to put on the jumper or the emergency cardigan. So, yeah, it is quite frustrating, especially when you then go out on your lunch break or your commute home and you're absolutely boiling outside. And I think there is a bit of a problem when it's warmer outside than it is inside your office.
So what's the solution then? Because we can't have men overheating in the offices, can we?
No, I think we just need a bit more flexibility. You know, I think it is just essentially common sense. So if, you know, an office is noticing that a number of women are complaining about the cold, they need to be more flexible. You know, they need to actually kind of lower it and not just say, but, oh, the men are fine. You know, now there is actually proof that this is actually an issue. I think they need to kind of take women's considerations into account. And you know what, maybe there can be more flexibility with men not having to wear suits in some offices, and they can come in T-shirts or whatever they need to be the right temperature.
So I live here, I work here in New York, where the high today is a balmy 90. That's outside, of course. But inside this building, some will freeze. Women in the workplace, I know a lot of you can hear me here. A new study says workplace standards for air conditioning and heating were created back in the 60s. It's so archaic, it's based upon resting metabolic rates for middle-aged men, not for both the men and the women. So now a lot of people are asking, because of this study, is there such a thing as a sexist thermostat? I have two of my favorite people on earth here at CNN sitting next to me, who happen to be our CNN business correspondent, Richard Quest, and our CNN senior director of social news, Samantha Berry. So awesome to have you on. Never in a million years did I think I'd ever talk about sexist thermostats on TV, A. And B, this is a shout out to my fabulous producer, Tina Kim in Chicago. This is her parting gift to me, because she would always make fun of me when I was in Atlanta that I was freezing cold. But I have to say, it's quite warm here in New York. I mean, there are fans, so I don't know.
Stop
maybe it's more like pro women up here.
What are you complaining about?
Talk
Get
to
a
me,
blanket.
Quest. What's the deal? What do you think?
The thermostat is neutral. It is how it is set that is the question here.
Right, well, apparently it's set for men.
In new buildings like this magnificent structure. So, here's a blanket.
But I said, I don't need your blanket, Richard Quest. Sam,
it's sexist. It's bad for business because productivity goes down when it's that cold, and it's wasteful.
All right, so
the woman of the voice of reason on the panel.
I went to find out exactly what this building was like. 22 stories.
22 stories.
Of Time Warner Center, and I discovered Ed, the man with the man with his finger on the thermostat.
Go, Ed.
To discover the secrets of air conditioning, we have to go right to the top, and that means meeting Ed. Where are we going?
22nd floor mechanical room.
This is the chiller plant. This is quite a piece of operation.
Yeah. So you can see we're running about 46 degree water.
So the water's 46 degrees.
Correct.
And then when it goes downstairs?
Right, it picks up the heat from the office floor off the air. The water temperature rises, comes back to here, and it gets chilled again and goes back down again. So it's a cycle.
And it's cycles.
Correct.
How precise can you get the temperature down there?
Within 2 degrees of whatever we set it at.
What do they set the
That was
temperature
exact,
at?
yes.
72 to 74 degrees in this building. And women want it at 75 to 77.